All right, so this is notes starting on page 61 with word 59, and it's a perpendicular line. We've talked about perpendicular before, but now we're talking about what it looks like and what you're going to see in these different triangles. So a perpendicular line is when it intersects at 90 degrees, not just any angle, but exactly at 90 degrees. And how you're going to be able to tell it apart is that you're going to see this box, and that's how you'll know it's perpendicular. Word 60 is a perpendicular line. And so this one is something that divides something into two equal parts. So here's my line, and we're saying this piece and this piece are exactly the same size. That's what a bisector does. These two parts are exactly the same size. That's what it does. And this point right here is your midpoint. How you're going to know it's a bisector is you're going to see tallies. All right, so get that copied. Let me go to the next page. All right, page 2. Now we're going to put those two words together, and this is a perpendicular bisector. So that means that you've got a line that crosses at 90 degrees, and it makes both parts exactly the same. It's going to create a midpoint. So you're going to see two things. You're going to see a box, and you're going to see tallies. So this has two parts. It's a perpendicular bisector, so it crosses at the midpoint. There's the midpoint. Those two parts are equal, and it's crossing at 90 degrees, not just at a slant, but exactly at 90 degrees. So this one's the most special one because it has two parts. It's perpendicular, and it's also bisecting. It's the midpoint, and it's 90 degrees. All right, so these are the four lines that we're going to talk about. This is the first one, and then we're going to talk about the points of concurrency. These lines, when they intersect, there's going to be three of them for a triangle. They're going to create a special point of concurrency, and each one's going to have a special property. But these words are really important that you're going to need to know for your other math classes. All right, 62, an angle bisector. So when you see the word bisect, that means cut into two equal pieces. So here we have an angle. We have three of them because it's a triangle. And that one, that pink one, is being cut exactly in half. So if this one was total of 80 degrees, half would be 40 and 40. That's what that means. And what you're going to see for this one are these arcs. These are the arcs, and they're going to be equal arcs. So this one has two. That one also has two. That one has one. That one has one. That's how you know that they're the same. And so an angle bisector is word 62. Okay. If you need to pause it as you're going. Okay, a median. So median's going to cut a segment, and it's going to create a midpoint. And you're going to see tallies on both sides. That means that both sides are congruent. So you're going to see tallies like you see in this one. It's kind of like 61 with the angle bisector, perpendicular bisector, excuse me, but this one doesn't have to be exactly at 90 degrees. It could cut it at a different angle. It doesn't have to be 90. 61 had to cut it at 90. And then 64 is the altitude. And so this means that's a line that's perpendicular. It doesn't have to cut it in half. It doesn't have to cut the angle in half. It just has to have 90 degrees when it intersects perfectly. And you're going to see a box for this one. So those are the four different lines. The perpendicular bisector, that one has two pieces, has to cross at 90 degrees, and it's the midpoint. The angle bisector cuts the angle in half. The median creates the midpoint, and then the altitude is at 90 degrees. So what we're going to do next is on Google Classroom, you're going to see number 43, and we're just reviewing. This is like very visual, what it looks like, and I'll ask you what they are and what you're going to see. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.